I already tried to film this video once, hated it, scratched it, deleted it, so I'm here to refilm it once again. I just realized that I didn't make an intro for this video, so here I am coming at y'all from future Jayleen. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hi, hello. My name is Jayleen Marie Cruz, and if you're not new here, welcome back. Let's talk about the 18 books that I read in September. I read a lot of, I don't want to say questionable because I never question, that's a lie. I do question sometimes what I read. It was definitely a month where I just read stuff to just read it because I was seeing everybody else read it and it sounded interesting, and I love to read crazy and interesting. Let's get into it. Like I said, I read 18 books this month. I know people will be like, how do you read that many books? You know, it's not a competition at all. I just don't have no social life. That is so sad to say. Who else reads ebooks more than physical books? Because I feel like ebooks are like so much, like it's just so much, like you have it on hand right away. The first book that I read this month was The Love Hypothesis by 𝙴𝚊𝚒𝚾𝚆. This was my first book by 𝙴𝚊𝚒𝚾𝚆, and I absolutely love this, ate this book up. If you've been seeing this book and you've been wanting to read it, it's like a STEM book, and I don't think I've ever read a STEM. I think this was probably my first STEM book, but this was amazing. I loved it. I gave it 5 stars. I loved Adam. Definitely he became one of my top book boyfriends. Love him, and I love Olive. I relate to Olive a lot. There was a part in the book where she hated public speaking, or she just gets like really nervous. When I read that, I was like, girl, I relate. Because I remember when I was in high school, I used to like present, and then after when I was done, I'd be like, did I actually present? Did I like black out? I know there's like more books like Love Theoretically, Love on the Brain. I really want to read those. The next book that I read was A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I rated this book 4.5 stars. These are a lot of books that I've been seeing on, you know, Book Talk and Bookstagram or just wherever, and I really wanted to read this, and I finally got to it. And if you watched my last video, Instagram chooses my next read, my Bookstagram chose this book for me, and I'm so glad that I read this because I had this on my shelf and I was like, I would just skip over it every time I would see it. So I'm really glad I got into it. It was so good. I really liked it. So I believe it's a young adult mystery thriller. I really want to read the second and third book. I love Tip in this book. She is so, like, for her being in high school and doing the things that she was doing, I was like, oh girl, you this confident, because that couldn't be me. That couldn't be me. It was just like, it was so interesting, and I'm so glad that I got into this. Let's get into the 16 ebooks. I'm gonna put like a little screenshot right here because I don't have the physical books, obviously. But I literally loved all these. Some you're gonna be like, what are you reading? Like, girl, what are you reading? I love to be completely honest and transparent because you never know if you're gonna like a book, and it could be like the weirdest shit, the craziest shit, the darkest shit, and you wouldn't know if you like it. For me, I love I'm a big dark romance person. They're thingy-majig. I never judge on what anybody else is reading ever, but there were some books that I read this month and I was like, oh, okay, y'all gonna see in 1 minute. Y'all gonna see in 1 minute. Hold on. The next book I read was Soul of a Witch by Harley Laroe. If you haven't read this trilogy yet, it's definitely a book that you want, like a trilogy that you want to read in October because it's giving paranormal. It has to do with demons, and like she I know in the first book she's like a paranormal like investigator. The whole series is so good. I already read the first 2 books, and then a third book came out this year and I read it, and that's Soul of a Witch, and I gave that book 5 stars. I had nothing bad to say about the book because I wanted to read about Everly and Callum. Those are the main characters. Everly's family, you learn throughout her the family throughout the 3 books, and it's just like crazy. Cult like as well, so if you're like, look at the trigger warnings because it's like cult and a whole bunch of stuff. If you don't know, Callum is an archdemon and Everly is a witch. The next book I read, or like, it was a short story, so when I say like, even though it was 18 books, it was like short stories, novellas. Ew, why did I say like that? Novellas. This is not a novela, Jayleen. Okay, we're not watching Spanish shows. The next short story that I read, it was very popular on Book Talk. I only saw it on Book Talk. I didn't see it on Bookstagram or anything like that. Was Unhinged, and it is a exotic door romance. Yeah, you heard me, an exotic door romance. I'm all for reading whatever. I always have an open mind to what authors write because honestly you guys, it was so like, it was good, even though I gave it 3 stars. To be honest, I kind of want more. Obviously you can tell just like by the title, Unhinged. It's a door romance, so it's about a door loving its like owner. So it's about Tana. She lives in an apartment, and there's like a murder. I guess I don't want to spoil it, but like there was like a murderer and whatnot. Like her apartment complex. The door is just like trying to protect her, and you know, he likes her very much. And yeah, the story just, or the short story just takes off from there. And I don't want to give too much away, but if you're very intrigued and interested, go read it. I know people have their different everybody has different reactions, but I really liked it. So next this next book I read was by C.R. Jane, and it's called The Fucking Wrong Number. I was seeing this book talker, she posts about this book a lot, and I read it and I give this book 3.75. I think it's a dark hockey, I know it's a hockey romance, but I think it's like a dark, like, hockey romance, obsessed, stalkerish vibe. Yeah, I felt myself getting into a reading slump, and I kind of used this book. I know people use, like, when they say I want a palette cleanser book, I know people mean like a nice cute rom-com. I literally will use a dark romance as a palette cleanser. It's about Lincoln. He is a hockey, like, a famous hockey player, and Monroe, she is basically just living and trying to make a good life for herself. She didn't have a good life when she was younger, so she wants that now. But anyway, I guess you can guess the title, The Fucking Wrong Number. And Lincoln gets like a wrong number from a girl. Like, it was him having the wrong number, and then the wrong number was Monroe's number. So the story just kind of like takes off from there. These next two books that I read were by Rena Kent, and I am trying into the whole Rena Kent universe because I'm the type of person, I don't want to say hate, but I hate when I'm missing something from the storyline in a book. I'm on the Thorns duet right now, which is Yellow Thorns, Red Thorns, and Black Thorns. I did not read Black Thorns this month. I only read Yellow Thorns and Red Thorns. This series, I know it's very underrated. I don't hear much of it. I don't hear too much about this duet. It wasn't my favorite, this duet. I love Rena Kent's books. Oh my god, I love the Royal Elite series. Literally my favorite. I gave Yellow Thorns 3 stars, and I gave Red Thorns 2 stars. I loved Naomi. Naomi is like a cheerleader, and Sebastian is like a football player. I love Naomi. She was a bad, but she didn't give an F about what anybody said to her. She always, you know, defended herself. But I felt like in the two books there was no plot until the end of the second book, Red Thorns. The ending was kind of like, okay, so I'm gonna have to read Black Thorns. So hopefully Black Thorns is good. Okay, y'all, are y'all ready for these next two books? I don't think y'all are ready because it was very, very interesting. The next two books were, I know it's not Easter, but it definitely had to do with the Easter Bunny. And these two books were called Railed by the Easter Bunny and Banging the Easter Bunny. You can clearly tell by the title what the books are about. I love these two books. I rated Railed by the Easter Bunny 3 stars and Banging the Easter Bunny 4 stars. The first book, Railed by the Easter Bunny, was very world building, was kind of very slow. Yeah, it's about the Easter Bunny, Jack, and Lily. I kind of forgot because it was just like world building, and I kind of was paying attention but kind of wasn't in the first book. So something like happens with Lily, and she like needs help, so she like makes I think like a bargain with like Jack's, like the Easter Bunny's mother. I don't know, you guys, you would have to read it, but I'm not gonna talk too much about it because I liked it. I loved the second book, Banging the Easter Bunny. It was really, really good. And it's like I think there's more in the series, and I think there's one about like Krampus. I'm done. We're gonna cut it off right here. If I do decide to read that, I will let you guys know. We will see. The next book that I read was called The Canary Cowards by Jessie Hall. If you don't know who Jessie Hall is, she wrote Hawk, That Sick Love, that book that was like trending with Arrow Westwood. I love That Sick Love by Jessie, and I fell in love. I loved Hawk too. She came out with a book this year, and it was called The Canary Cowards. I give this book 5 stars. Jessie Hall knows how to write a freaking book, and I will always be there for her future books. Like, I love them. But this book, The Canary Cowards, was about Dylan Crawford. She is a physiotherapist, and she has an autistic brother named Colin. And then we have Lake Decker, and he is an NFL player, and he unfortunately goes through a knee injury. You know, Lake is broody. Dylan doesn't want to work with him. Yeah, as his therapist, I really love the story, especially with Colin. You know, he is the autistic representation in this book. I truly loved. Oh my god, I'm literally gonna cry because I cried in this book. I had points where I was like crying. Ugh. Why am I tearing up? Dylan is Colin's sole provider, and you see a lot of the struggles in the book. Colin is Dylan's older brother, but Dylan is Colin's sole provider. I love how Jesse gave Colin aspect. What am I trying to say? I love how Jesse gave Colin aspects of still being an older brother. Like he would have points where he would give Dylan advice and be there for her still as an older sibling. I love that. There were times in the books where Dylan was struggling with, you know, Colin, and it was hard. I loved it. It was amazing. Nothing bad to say about the book. Ooh, I almost like teared up there, y'all. Ooh. It's always something about like siblings, because I have you know, younger siblings, and they are my life, and I absolutely love them. The next book, y'all, or I think it's, I don't know if it's like a short story, but the next book I read was No Place to Hide. Obviously we're entering the spooky... Hello? Why is this man like rolling down the neighborhood? I'm like right in front of my living room window, you guys, so like I have the curtains like wide open, like hey. Anyway, I forgot what I was saying. Oh, we're entering the spooky season, October. What are y'all being for Halloween? Because I want to be Morticia, and I read No Place to Hide by Harper Ashley and Ren Hawthorne, and it was carnival late night spooky vibes. It was about two main characters, Jackson and Blair, and I hope that we get more of them because I actually really love this. I gave it 4 stars. Jackson did something in his past, so he's very bad boy. And Blair, I think she's a college student. I think she's like a college student, you know, going to the carnival. Like, and they have a fun night full of spice, and it was good. It was really good. The next book that I read was called Mine to Bend by Aurelia Knight. The book was very interesting because there's 2 main characters, Seraphina and it's Seraphina with her husband Tim Baker. So Seraphina and Tim Baker, and then we have another main male character, Shane. Tim and Seraphina, their marriage is not going how they want it to go. Tim doesn't really intimately love Seraphina, so they go to a marriage like counselor, Dr. Shane. Hello. And Shane is obsessed as soon as he sees Seraphina. So I think you can get the gist of that. He basically becomes a stalker. The next book I read was called Distance by Luna Mason. I gave this book 3 stars. It's about Keller, and he is like a mafia. He's involved in the mafia world, but like he's a boxer, so he like boxes and all that stuff. And then we have Sienna, and she's like involved. I'm like literally forgetting. You can never count on me to give you any description or synopsis of a book, but I think they live in New York, and she's like into the law. I know she was like involved with like helping kids and stuff like that. I like this book. I recommend if you love a good boxer mafia type beat, but it was definitely a little, I guess, slow. But I really wanted to read it because I was seeing, like I said, I saw this German book talker, and I follow her, and she's absolutely stunning. And I saw her reading it, and she posted a lot, and I really wanted I'm a big mood reader, so I need a variety of things. So I guess at the time I wanted mafia and I wanted boxer. So I read that. The next 3 books that I read were a series, and they were by S.J. Tilley. This is my first time reading by S.J. Tilley, and I absolutely Nero, King, and Dom. I gave all of these books 5 stars. Absolutely loved them. They were so good. This is a series that I was like obsessed with and still am. I'm gonna give like a brief like little insight of each one. Nero basically was running away from the police, and he jumps onto Peyton's balcony, and he basically becomes obsessed with her. When he jumps onto her balcony, this man literally sits on her couch and eats her popcorn, and Peyton is like, all of these books are age gap, and they are curvy girl representation. I absolutely loved all of these. They were so amazing. They were just all obsessed with their woman. Okay, they were literally all obsessed. Where's my guy that wants to be obsessed with me? Crickets. Crickets. I feel like I said a lot, but the first book is Peyton and Nero. The second book was Savannah and King, and then the third book was Dom and Valentine. Series that will always get me out of my reading slump is Ice Planet Barbarians. If you don't know what Ice Planet Barbarian is, it's basically a whole like series where these women get kidnapped by these bad aliens. The women take over this ship and they land on the planets. I forgot what the planet is called, but it's basically with a whole bunch of blue aliens. There's not enough women in the tribe, so the tribe needs women. Absolutely love it. It's like different in each book. It's about a different couple each book. There's so many things going on. Doggy. Shh. The book that I read in the series is number 5 and it's called Barbarian's Prize, and this one was about Tiffany and Saluk. Tiffany was literally wanted by a lot of men in the tribe, but Saluk basically had his eye on Tiffany and he's like, we need to resonate. But yeah, it's like a whole series. The last book I read was probably one of the interesting books that I read because it was like super different. It's called Ensnared by Tiffany Roberts, and it's part of a spider's mate trilogy, basically about spider, like I forgot what they're called, but like I think they're called Vree alien type man spider. Guys, I couldn't tell you. First book is very world building, but basically it's about Catan, and he is like the spider slash Vree alien type spider thing. I don't know. And then we have Ivy. She is a human. He basically found her on like a ship called the Somnium. I don't want to give too much away because like I said, it was very world building. Spiders and all the other spiders, the queen. It was good. I think I would recommend it to people who love to read out of their normal genre or comfort. I liked it. I really want to read the second and third books. When the spice came up in the book, I was like, oh love it. That one TikTok sound. Okay, it was worth it. It was worth it, y'all. If you're intrigued, go read it. Those were all the books that I read in September. Let me know what kind of books you guys read. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.